Hey everybody, welcome back to Contractor Growth Network. Today I'm joined by Tim Brown. The topic of today, and I'm going to have Tim pretty much guide the conversation, is all about the world of roofing.
I'll be honest, I think it's more often, I think there's sales problems. I think there's a lot of sales problems, and it's not just like how many crap ones is very subjective. And that's a very hard thing to get a hold of. And that's why I do think it is good to have clarity around lead quality, whatever that looks like for you. I'm not saying that it has to look exactly like ours, like internally at our company, but we do it this way. And I want to share it, which is just, we have MQLs, which is a marketing qualified lead, and an SQL, which is a sales qualified lead. And construction companies, like I do talk to people that, like I just talked to a windows and doors company, very smart, savvy people, but they didn't understand there should be qualification, because in bigger companies, you've got and I know you know this, Logan, probably, but I'm just saying, like, for the people listening, like you've got separate departments a lot of time, right? You got the marketing department and the sales department. You and I might be a little bit of both, and a lot of these people might be a little bit of both. But when you get to bigger companies, those distinctions are really important, because there is responsibility at each level of the funnel, and the people on your team have responsibility. And the reason I got really into this is because I was the marketing director at a company, and we had salespeople not underneath, but in the funnel underneath, that would be talking to people, and they'd qualify things, but there wasn't a system around what was quality and what was not quality. So it was really important to get understanding within the team about what a qualified lead looks like. What is a even if it's just that question, we need clarity, because otherwise there's no accountability for sales. And sometimes it's just within my own brain, because I was doing this as an individual solopreneur too. There needs to be accountability for that part of my brain to know, okay, this person has the budget for this project, right? They have they need what we sell. They have the authority to make the decision, right? It's that BANT thing: budget, authority, need, timeline. And sometimes it's really important to make sure that those things are really clear within your team or within yourself, so that your other side, hey, maybe I need to fix this closing rate in myself or my team. Maybe that's where it is. It's not marketing's fault, because they're delivering a bunch of leads that are qualified by our own. We created these things together. We, as a team or as an individual, you create these things, and you basically need to sign off on them. I do think it is useful to figure out that, because it really does define your next action or your next fix. What are you fixing next? Is it marketing that's broken, or is it sales that's broken? And I certainly think having those numbers month over month and quarter over quarter and year over year starts to really show patterns and show where the breakdown is. And I do think that, so it's awesome that you help people improve their sales and their qualification too, because it is a hard problem, and it is something that people need help. How are we supposed to be expert at all these things? Like, especially when you're like a construction or a contractor of some type, you're spending all this time learning the craft. It's not the same, and it's not on computers, and it's not in the office like half the time. So it's like it's an interesting world.
And I like the combination of the two, because that's how I kind of started. Like, my dad's got that whole the CSA academy that teaches contractors how to sell. So we show them the basics of, this is how you do it. If you want to get really good at it, go join this program, because and it's, in essence, it's leading with the the chocolate covered carrot where it's like, hey, you'll learn how to objection handle, but in reality, you learn how to just communicate with other humans, whether it's a prospect, it's your spouse, it's your kids, like, you know, kind of what to say and how to say it. So it is a sales thing, but like when you learn how to sell and you learn how to communicate, like the whole world opens up for you there. So like if I ever get in an argument with like somebody, I kind of refer back to like, what would I do in a sales situation? And because you've got a lot of practice, you're able to like essentially stay calm in the pocket and not have like your fight or flight go up. So
that's so good. What is you said CSA?
Yeah. So what it stands for, it's a company that my dad and this guy, Tom Reber, created, and it's called Contractor Sales Academy. And in essence, my dad used to, it all started because he was losing out on leads. So we hopped on Home Advisor, and he was like, okay, I'm getting a lot of just people that have no idea what I do, what it costs, stuff like that. And I'm paying all this money. I don't want to drive all over the place for this. So I'm going to learn a better way to do it. So what he does is he learned to pre-qualify over the phone and just get a ballpark estimate with people.
That's good.
Like, hey, what are you looking for, guys? This is about what it's going to cost. And most people were like 20% of whatever he wanted to charge. So he saved all that time. And I remember he went 1 for 60 by doing this. And he was like, oh, like there's got to be other people that need this as well. So he and Reber linked up and they created the Contractor Sales Academy, which is, and that's how I learned how to sell. It's great. So it's a great program. And I talk about it all the time because sales is one of those things that if you're running your own business, like you need to learn, because like there's 3 aspects of business. You've got how to get a client to call you, how to close the client, and how to fulfill the work that the client wants. And that's it. You know, marketing, sales, fulfillment, those are the 3 aspects of business and you're done. But most people only focus on the fulfillment and they forget about the first 2 things, which are actually going to bring in the work.